Today's 5 finalists are, in 5th place, Ray Shackelford, a second-year man on the PBA Tour and going for his first title from Fredericksburg, Virginia. He's had a good week in San Jose. The 4th place finisher, Larry Laub. He's won 12 titles and is number 10 on the career money list. He hasn't won a major since '79, but he's been on TV many times. This is his 47th. Qualifying 3rd is Alvin Lou from El Cajon, California. He makes his first TV appearance in 1983 and is a 2-time tour winner. In 2nd place is Pete Couture, Mr. Consistency on the tour. He has 4 career wins, and he's among the leaders in career money. And the man they'll be shooting at, this week's leader, Marshall Holman. Some say he's the best, but he hasn't climbed to the top rung in 2 years, and he's failed to win in 18 straight TV appearances. Controversial Marshall Holman is stirring the cauldron again. The Kessler Open on the USA Network is brought to you in part by Miller High Life, the best beer for the best time of the day. Welcome to Miller Time. By Mobile Detergent Gasoline for your everyday driving needs. By Levi's jeans, cords, and shirts for quality and style that you can count on. And by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. And hello, everyone. Eddie Doucette along with Mike Durbin. And Mike, it's been a while since we've been together. It's good to see you again. We're out in San Jose, and has there been anything different, anything a little bit out of the ordinary at all this week?
Well, Eddie, I guess the biggest difference that's been this week is the tightness of the lanes. The lanes have been extremely slick, slickest I've seen in a number of years on the PBA Tour in the morning rounds before they break down. Right now, as the bowlers are practicing on them, they're very slick. The balls are sliding all the way to the pit. A lot of times when the lanes are this slick, it makes a very primacy on accuracy. The player has to hit his target. So we'll see what the scores are like today on TV.
It does not seem to have affected Marshall Holman, our leader.
No, Marshall Holman has been bowling just super lately. He's probably the premier right-handed power player on the PBA Tour today. You can see this tremendous lift and turn. His head never moves. The big question with Marshall is he's been bowling super this year. Last year he's been bowling great during the week, but when the television show rolls around, he hasn't been bowling so well. Or if he does bowl well, someone's bowled even better against him. But most of the time he's had opportunities to win, and that key shot, he hasn't made it. So I think the big question in my mind today as I'm watching is Marshall Holman going to break his TV slump today?
One of the fellas we've not had a chance to see a lot of, but who has been a steady and strong competitor on the tour, is Alvin Lou.
Well, Alvin Lou came on the tour and won two titles in 1980. He has a rather unusual style, 4 steps. The last couple of years, he's learned how to hook the ball more here. He's not really in balance and isn't what I would recommend to young players, but it's been working for Alvin. His last 3 weeks, he's made the top 24 each time, and he seems to be on a roll right now, so he could win very easily.
Ray Shackelford, that's a number we don't get a chance to talk about too much.
Ray Shackelford used to be in drag racing. He made our TV finals in Houston on the spring tour this year. Seems to be finding his own in his game right now. He has a long way to go, though. He has to win 4 matches.
Larry Laub, he has some significant accomplishments in the world of sport.
Larry Laub is probably the least appreciated and least heard of superstar that we've had in the sport of bowling. He's 9th or 10th on the all-time career money list. He's won 12 titles, the U.S. Open, but he's been in a slump lately. I know his wife personally and him, and I know they're really rooting for him to break out of that slump tonight.
We'll also look forward to seeing Pete Couture, who's really a fine bowler. All of that when we return, and we'll have that for you right after these words on the USA Network.
Are you troubled by uninvited guests at your holiday barbecues? Does your family love holiday cookouts but hate those stinging, flying pests that can turn a party into a nightmare? Now from National Shop at Home Service announcing the amazing new Exterminator, the electronic insect killer that's absolutely odorless, smokeless, and yet kills thousands of insects on contact. Listen, most flying insects are attracted to light by instinct, but the Exterminator has a very special ultraviolet light that carries a tiny electric charge guaranteed to kill insects on contact. And you can actually hear the Exterminator working. In this dramatic demonstration, we placed 250 mosquitoes in this test chamber with the Exterminator and the microphone. You can actually hear the sound of mosquitoes being zapped on impact. Look, 1 hour later, and there's no trace of mosquitoes. Yes, with the Exterminator, you never have to bother with messy cleanups. The dead insects are collected in this handy catch basin. Just screw off and empty. Imagine for just pennies, you can eliminate mosquitoes, moths, midges, flies, all those pesky biting insects that make warm weather a nightmare. And the amazing exterminator works everywhere. Outdoors, it operates over a half-acre area. Use it at your barbecue and enjoy outdoor living. Use it at your next pool party, on your boat, your camper, your mobile home. Indoors, hang it by your entrance and create a natural barrier to protect your family. Ever spend a sleepless night from buzzing, biting mosquitoes? Well, bite them back with the exterminator and rest undisturbed all night long. Annoying kitchen flies can ruin a meal, ruin your patience, too. Fly swatters cause stained walls. Sprays are smelly and stain your clothes. Pest strips are dirty, ugly to look at. Throw them all away. The exterminator works quietly, beautifully.
Most department stores offer similar products for $75, $100, $150 or more. But on this amazing TV offer, the exterminator has been reduced to only $19.95 with a money-back guarantee. Absolute satisfaction guarantee to return the exterminator for a full money-back refund. Use your credit card for rush delivery. Here's how to order.
COD and credit card orders. Call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, call 1-800-222-7272 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to Exterminator, Box 49648, Atlanta, Georgia.
And our first match of the day will feature Larry Laub, who's on the right, and Ray Shackelford, who's on the left.
Setting the stage here on this particular pair, 35 and 36 at Futurama lanes. 35 seems to hook a little bit more than 36. And Larry Laub has chosen to start the match, which means he has more confidence in finishing on lane 36.
Larry Laub, 39 years of age. A little slow going down, but at least he got one extra.
Well, he was a little slow on his delivery, too. A little bit nervous as he first started out. Larry never does really get down at the line in this particular shot. As we see him very tall here, comes up just a little bit here, and the ball's left of his target, and he gets a good break and breaks up the slit, leaves only the 7-pin, cross lane at it, and has it easily.
So Larry Laub, who's been in the TV finals 47 times now, and has an average of 212 plus this week, will give way to Ray Shackelford, who averaged 211.2.
Shackleford, a name that we haven't seen too much as the crowd reacts very loudly. He has a 5-step delivery, very short backswing here. Gets the ball in motion late. Actually, it's almost a 3-step approach. Short backswing, good slide, comes through, pretty good form there at the finish. Winds up a good foot from the foul line, give that ball a little extra roll. He's playing in a little deeper on the lane, and closer to the 3rd arrow, where Laub is playing closer to the 2nd arrow.
6'1", 195 pounds, 34 years of age, from Fredericksburg, Virginia. And he has a chance to get the lead now, coming up with yet another opportunity here.
He averaged 212 on this TV pair. And the scores were high on this pair. Right there, 2 pretty shots. Takes a 10-pin lead right away.
So he's got a good start here. 2 strikes working. And there he is, Ray Shackelford. This is Larry Laub, winner of 12 PBA titles.
Right over the 2nd arrow, about the 11th board. And the ball hooked just a little bit early. Larry thought that ball was going to set in the pocket, and it hooked early and went high. He's aiming right around, as we see here, right around the 11th board, 1 board left of the 2nd arrow. And it hit just about that. It bites right there. You see it bite? It's going, he thinks it's going to set, and it runs high. Again, breaks up the split, leaving only the 4-7. Cross lane, easy spare. Has it. He's 12 pins behind.
Larry Laub, who has won $14,165 in 1983. Getting set now to work. Trailing so far.
Ironically enough, the last tournament that Larry Laub won was at Kessler Open in 1979 in Battle Creek, Michigan. So maybe he can repeat here in the Kessler tournament. Looks a little better. Pretty shot. A little more speed, a little more loft with the ball, and the ball set in that track area.
That was a little harder. The last ball that he had rolled in there was kind of soft. Came in that way and ended up that way.
You got it exactly. Look at that head, steady, good follow through. The ball's setting right in the track now. It's just dead solid in the 1-3 pocket. All 10 pins in the pin.
Up by 12. This is Ray Shackelford.
Right there. Trips the 4-pin out of there. Gets a good break.
Yeah, he knows he's got something pretty good working right now. Good start here for Shackelford.
Shackelford, that short backswing, winds up behind the foul line. A little left of the third hole. Hit about the 17th or 18th board. It's actually falling back here, and the 2-pin goes to the wall, and the butt of it kicks out the 4.
His 1983 earnings, $14,485. Shackleford, not been around that long.
He's already been up. He's already up 22 pins. Can increase it to 32 with one more. Something bothered him. I don't know what it was. Feel in the ball. Most of the players had used tape in the bowling ball, and I know that the tape in my ball has a tendency a lot of times to curl up a little bit or something will go. And if that feel isn't just right inside that ball, it can really distract your concentration.
How about when they go in there and suddenly drill that hole a little bigger? It's kind of hard to envision them becoming comfortable on that kind of a short-term basis with a hole that they just drilled.
Well, it is, but they're very adaptable. You get used to doing things like that. Good speed. It's a little light. And he didn't have the lift on it. Again, a lot of oil on the lanes. The ball deflected, leaving the 4-5 split. See his deliveries here. Concentration. He doesn't get the lift here that he wanted. He's watching. Now watch the ball deflect to the right. Bounces, the head pin goes to the wall, and usually gets the 4 and the 5. Didn't get it this time. That means there wasn't enough lift with his fingers to get that head pin to do its action.
Trying to pick up the spare.
Doesn't make it, puts Laub right back in the match.
So now Laub trailing by 8. And we look at our scoreboard. And this is Larry Laub.
Can take the lead with a strike. Right there. Pretty shot. You see that ball setting up in the track that time, Ed? We've got a really good vantage point here behind lane 36, and we can see that ball just get in that track and hold tight.
There it is. A little late coming, but we've got it for you right there. Give you a good idea exactly where we are right now.
And you can see how fast things can turn around. He's down by 22 at one point, and now he's up by 2.
Underrated bowler right here.
Good speed, good speed. Nice shot. That's the mark of a champion. That opponent opens and bam, bam. He comes back and throws 2 in a row.
Let's watch the reaction of Larry Laub.
Look at that serious look on his face. Boy, this is serious business. He lets it go. He knows he's throwing it well.
You know, he's considered by many to be a candidate for the Hall of Fame, yet you don't really hear that much about Larry Laub.
Well, he's definitely a Hall of Fame material.
All right, we'll talk more about it when we come back to San Jose at our Kessler Bowling Invitational right after this.
We are USA 1. Taking charge by unleashing a Chevrolet the competition can't touch. Camaro. Flat outselling every other 2+2 sports coupe on the road today. And now Camaro is led by a new standard 5-speed 5-liter Z28. The hot-selling Chevy Camaro. It still leaves everything but its shadow behind. USA 1 is taking charge.
A double play. Anyone who pitches for a living loves a beautifully turned twin killing. Hi, this is Tom Seaver for the Sporting News, and we have a twin killing for you. 2 issues for the price of 1 to introduce you to the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. That's right, you'll get 26 issues of the Sporting News for just $9.99. 2 for the price of 1. And you can't buy the Sporting News for a lower price anywhere. It's the magazine that gives me the no-nonsense details of all Major League sports and college action. To love sports is to love the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. Why don't you subscribe today, and here's a friend to tell you how.
That's right, Tom. You get the Sporting News at the low rate of just 39 cents an issue. 26 issues for $9.99. That's half the regular subscription price. Call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, 1-800-222-7272. That's 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, call 1-800-222-7272.
2 American League powers clash in Game 1 of a doubleheader on the next edition of USA's Thursday Night Baseball. All-world batting champ Rod Carew and the California Angels take on Eddie Murray and the high-flying Baltimore Orioles. Then it's on to San Francisco, where the Giants try to cool down the sizzling St. Louis Cardinals. Win with a live twin bill on Thursday Night Baseball. It all begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on USA. May not be seen in some areas.
And the alternate for today's bowling events right here in San Jose.
Gary Dickinson, another Hall of Fame candidate, won the U.S. Open this year and bowled very tight going into the last game last night. He doubled in the 10th frame to force Laub to strike, and Laub did.
And now back to Ray Shackelford. Got off to the sizzling start and now finds himself bowling in the 5th and down by 12. Best finish, second.
There's his grip.
1983.
Crosses over and gets to Brooklyn. Shakes his head, but it counts. It's on the scoreboard the same way as if it had been solid in the pocket.
Almost as if he didn't want the applause. Very interesting match going here so far. There it is for your own viewing on USA.
And right now Larry Laub is 12 pins ahead. But Ray Shackelford can cut it down to 2 if he can double up and take advantage of that Brooklyn strike.
Like anything else, these bowlers strive for consistency. Shackelford, after a hot start, then missed in the 4th, came back here in the 5th.
On the side of the ball, a little high this time, breaks up the split, leaving only the 6 pin. He's playing the lanes much tighter and further inside than Laub and hoping that the ball is going to actually, what we call, fall back at the pocket. And that particular time it didn't do it. And we have a mechanical problem. The sweep has not come up on lane 35 right now. What happens in a situation like this is our tournament director, Harry Golden, has a headset on, and he's in touch with the mechanics in the back. And he lets them know exactly right away that there's a malfunction of something, and they're on it right away, and they've got it repaired already.
Let's go back to a point. Why do the bowlers pick a particular lane to start out on?
Well, usually, if you're hitting both lanes equally well, you'll pick to finish on the left lane and have your score up first. As he converts the 6 pin easily. If you like one lane a lot better than the other, in this instance, Laub seems to like the right lane better, then you'll go ahead and start the match and figure that you can double in the 10th on your good lane to win the match. Laub is up by 12, can increase it to 22 with a strike on his good lane. Good speed, it's right there, and blows the 5 out. He smacks his hands.
So looking to improve on his best 83 finish, which was 9th place in the Long Island Open, Larry Laub and his wife,
Pamela, beautiful Pam.
Looks
a little nervous right now.
Yeah. Thinking the same thing I'm thinking. We saw her stalking around back here before the matches. She said, I'm kind of half here and kind of half someplace else. Nervous time.
Yeah, that's understandable. High through the nose, came up on the shot that time, didn't stay down. The ball was left of target immediately, leaves the 3-6-10.
Who says that it's not an emotional game?
Watch his concentration here. Left arm out there for balance. Now watch him. He knows it immediately. He doesn't show too much, just kind of grinches his teeth there. My kids call that my Donald Duck look. Cross lane at the 3-6-10 can be a difficult spare. Makes it. He's happy with that.
So through 7 right now.
Right now it's 19 pins. And Laub is ahead.
Shackelford's turn in the 7th. Career earnings a little over $26,000.
Right there. Leaves a 4-pin. Good shot. Just a little tight and leaves that 4-pin. See his approach here. Again, Wayne way behind the foul line, about board 16.5. Just finished right there. The ball was solid and just made a little turn at the end. Ooh, almost slid by that 4-pin, but he got it.
Almost slipped by.
8th frame time.
He's going to have to start catching up right now. There you are, down 20.
You can see 145 in the 6th with a spare up for Laub and 125 in the 6th with a spare up in the 7th for Shackleford. Exactly 20 pins.
83 average, 205.5. This week, 211.2.
A little light and solid 10. Oh, he's mad.
Yep.
He really threw that ball well. Look at that concentration. Good follow through. He knows it's right there.
Come on, carry.
Ooh, I don't know what he said then, but I don't want to.
Not quite X-rated, but he'll get this fair. Settle for that. And up by 21 now is Larry Laub.
Larry in a commanding position, has both lanes wired, is throwing the ball well, and is up by 21 pins. Has a chance to really put his opponent away. And just didn't quite stay with that shot again. Came up a little bit again, left of target. Good break, only the 4-pin.
A lot more experience, this fellow. Over $500,000 career earnings. And nervousness, anticipation, hope.
You could see her adding the score up in her head, too.
She should be using our checkers, who's keeping score for us. And he gets it.
Right now, Larry is going, if he strikes spares the rest of the way out, he's going at a 224 pace. If he would strike in the 9th and spare strike in the 10th, he would wind up at 224. Ray Shackelford, on the other hand, can strike all the way out for 224. So it's by no means over here.
Laub by 20.
And he needs this strike in the 9th frame to set himself up for the 10th. Always want that foundation strike. He's there and blows the 5 out of there.
That's a biggie. Got to be happy with this one.
Good concentration by Larry. He's always had a little late timing. Comes through the ball, didn't quite get the lift, and he doesn't know whether it's going to get that 5 or not. And he's happy that it did.
He'll take it. Shackleford.
Must strike for Shackelford. And snaps that 10 out of there. Very nice shot. Well, it's still 20 pins, Eddie. And again, we're still in that same situation. Ray can strike all the way out for 224. Right now, Larry Laub is going at 224 as we see Ray running that last strike out. Come on, carry. Yes. But he knows that's just 1 of 4 that he needs.
Shackelford at his first USA Cable Championship round appearance, looking up.
And there we see the exact 20-pin difference. Both have strikes in the 9th frame. No matter what Shackelford does, he cannot shut out Larry Laub. And
well, he made it a little easier on himself.
Well, he needed that strike desperately, and right now, if he picks this up and strikes, he's only going to have 204, and Larry Laub can open in the 10th frame and still win the match. He throws good speed, but he knows he's hooking now, and he knows he's in trouble. He's disappointed. The 5th place is still not bad. I would have taken it this week.
Yeah, yours is something you don't want to talk about right now, is it?
Yeah, right. There's the shot he was looking for.
So Ray Shackelford closes out with a 204. And now it's up to Larry Laub to finish as strongly as possible. He won the 1974 Hickok Award as the top U.S. among males.
Just has to stay behind the foul line. He's done it. He's a winner right there. That's enough. He's won.
So he will move on. Of course, that would set the stage. Alvin Lou waiting in the wings. Shackelford has to be disappointed. There he is. On and off around the scene for 10 years, but he took a couple hiatuses in there, and this would have been a good one for him.
Well, he's still looking for that first tournament victory, and he's going to have to wait till another tournament. Larry Laub's looking for his first tournament victory in 4 years, so he has a way of getting lined in on a television pair and shooting some big scores. Larry has that ability.
He's got that TV face. He's been around 47 times.
That's amazing. 47
TV appearances.
Ooh. That one, he got out of just a little wide and slid. He probably practiced a little bit on that shot, made a move to see what the ball would do.
So he ends with a 221. Not bad. And in defeating Mr. Shackelford, 221-204, he's our winner. That means that he will move on to the next round. That's Alvin Lou. We are in San Jose at the Futurama lanes, and we will be back with more on USA.
For 8 hours a day, we're doing what we like doing. Can't beat that. Wanna bet?
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. So welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
In the beginning, man's feet walked free, but the road to civilization was paved, so man developed shoes. Soon after that, man developed athlete's foot.
Egad.
Now at last there's Micotin. Micotin cures athlete's foot. It's the only athlete's foot medicine you can buy with miconazole, an ingredient available for the first time without a doctor's prescription. Micotin in spray, powder, or cream. Micotin, the end of the road for athlete's foot.
Hello, folks. This is Jerry Reed. You know, I've seen a lot of things in my time, but I ain't never seen anything like what I'm holding in my hand right now. It's called a picker, and it's got to be the world's smallest miniature electric guitar ever designed. Hey, and it's not just a toy, friend. It's a 12-inch electric guitar. Got real steel strings on it, frets, and its own built-in amplifier. Hey, and more than that, it's a solid-state AM radio ready to hum. Just tune the picker to your favorite AM station and start picking along with the music. For road gigs, it's even got its own traveling case. And hey, it's coming your way for the low price of only $24.95. That's right. Your choice of pearl white or burgundy red picker for just $24.95. Some kind of a deal, ain't it? Grab a pencil and paper and order your picker today. Here's all you got to do.
To order, send check or money order for $24.95 plus $2 postage and handling to the Picker Box 49648 Atlanta, Georgia 30359. Credit card orders, call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000.
We're back at the Futurama Bowl in San Jose, and our second match is just about set. Larry Laub is on the left, and Alvin Lou is on the right.
And we get a look at smiling, happy Alvin Liu, who's made the top 24 the last 3 straight weeks and is looking for his first victory since 1980.
Alvin Lou, only 5'8", 145 pounds, but they say he packs some punch when he gets on the lanes. We'll have an opportunity to watch him work. Had an interesting average this week, way above what he'd been doing for most of 1983. 219.3 this week, 208 plus in 1983. You want to meet him? Let's take a visit with Alvin Lou here in San Jose. I always enjoy seeing people who enjoy their work, and I like to see someone who has a nickname, Smilin'. Smilin' Alvin Lou is what they call you, and being around you a very short time, I think I can understand why. You kind of like life, you kind of like your job.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun out here. The good times are really good. The hard times are kind of hard, but, you know, you got to make the best of it no matter what.
The good times this week have been real good. Pretty good effort so far.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with the way things have turned out. This is probably one of my best tournaments ever. In fact, it's definitely my best tournament this year.
Alvin, where did it all start for you? You haven't been around here that long as far as professional bowler is concerned, just picking it up with a bunch of the guys and going out on the weekends and suddenly took to it?
Well, not really. I've been bowling since I was about 12, and ever since I was a youngster, I wanted to bowl professionally. When I first started, I really wanted to. Then as I got a little older, it wasn't that important. But I got the chance to come out, and I came out and made the most of it so far.
Bowling before fans, before spectators. It may bother some people. How about Smiling Alvin?
I love doing it. I'm a little bit of a showboat out there, and I have a good time. I don't know. I've always liked to bowl in front of a lot of people.
You get out there, they tell me, do a little dancing every now and then. You obviously like to get out there and perform on the dance floor, too.
Yeah, I get excited out there and put on a little bit of a show. You know, I don't mean to. It's all natural, and, you know, you get pumped up and just things start happening.
Are we going to have a chance to see any of that Alvin Lou flamboyancy today, some of those kicks, some of that dazzle out there in the lanes?
Well, I sure hope so.
Alvin Lou, he's one of the finalists here today, and you'll have a chance to see him perform very shortly. There he is, Alvin Lou, El Cajon, California. Happy Alvin, smiling Alvin, a racquetballer, snow skier, likes to dance, as he indicated in the interview, and just a nice guy to have around.
Well, he's not smiling right now, though, Eddie, because I've seen him take 3 practice balls, and he's yet to hit the 1-3 pocket yet. So he's fishing in his practice balls. He gets 4 of them, and he's trying to find something. This is his last practice ball coming up.
Larry Laub, in the meantime, has had a pretty good run at it as he disposed of Ray Shackelford in the first match. Now it's Alvin Lou who steps up to the line, and it'll be Shackelford and Lou.
And Alvin did seem to find something on that last practice ball, so hopefully we'll have a good match here between 2 excellent players.
Now let's correct myself. It'll be Laub and Lou. Shackelford will be watching, just like you and me.
Right.
Laub, I think it wouldn't hurt to go back and make a point, maybe even reinforce what we talked about before, and that is he's really not received the kind of applause that he has deserved throughout his career. And we'll talk about that when he works, and we're going to get a chance to watch Alvin Lou first. His goal to become a more consistent player. Alvin Lou, as I mentioned, 219 plus this week.
Knocked down a lot of pins. Starting on his left, right around the second arrow. Comes in light, ball deflects and does not get the 5 out of there. Alvin's a 4-step player, holds the ball low, pushes the ball right out. Very controlled swing here all the way through. Off balance, and he jumps to the right. The great Harry Smith used to do that same type of hop to the right.
Alvin has won 2 PBA titles.
Easy spare here with the 5-pin. Can practice a little bit on the 1-3 pocket, in fact. He did.
That's what he does with his wrist there, Mike. He really rolls it at the last moment.
Snaps it to a lot of the young players today do that. Larry Laub is more of the old school where he strokes the ball, lifts the ball with his fingers. Right over about the 11th board, 12th board. Not quite enough lift, leaves a weak 10.
Defeated Ray Shackelford to get here.
Very smooth delivery. Straight swing. Good follow through right at the target. Watch the ball deflect, Ed. Goes to the 6-pin. Couldn't get out of the channel to get that 10. Cross lane at the 10-pin. Should have it easily, and ooh! Oh, big smile on his face. He had that measured just perfectly.
Yeah, he'd like to capture that 258. He had a high in the tournament, but he can't do it with this kind of bowling, and he just slips one by Ray.
He just had it measured perfectly. He's falling off and nicks that 10-pin, and it slides over and falls down.
So Larry Laub.
Right now we're waiting for his ball to come back. Here it comes. Pam again, beautiful pen. And she has beautiful eyes.
Nice smile as well.
A little quicker that time. Solid 10. Went from the weak 10 to the solid 10. He got the lift he wanted. That time that ball actually hit the pins probably too hard, and the 6-pin flew right around that 10.
Showed you again his best career finish. 74 when he won the U.S. Open.
He had a little practice last time. He should convert the 10-pin easier this time. And he does.
So Larry Laub working with a spare in the second.
And Alvin Lou is asking for a re-rack. And this year we have changed our rules on re-racks. Now the player is allowed 3 re-racks without the tournament director looking at it. And if he wants more than 3, then the tournament director has to look at it.
Saves a little time, doesn't it?
That's the reason behind it, yes, Eddie.
How about the lanes here? A little slick?
Well, they're breaking down. They are slick, but they're breaking down. The TV lights and the play that they have on them. But you see that one slide by. That was definitely slick. What happens with that ball is it never bit the lane. The ball spins for a certain section, then turns on its axis and goes into a roll, and it never bit. Watch his follow through here. See it go left? That puts stop on the ball, and it never bit the lane.
1, 2, 10.
What he wants to do here is hit that hat pin on the left and slide that 10 right over, or that head pin right over in the 10. Holds the ball underneath it. Turns at the last second, as you notice with that wrist. Goes over, and too much. Very difficult on a condition like this, and it hits that track area, and then the ball will hook. You send the ball away, and it doesn't want to hook, and you go at it, and it does hook. That's why I had a lot of trouble this week, or at least I think that's why.
Hey, you're not alone. Earl Anthony had a lot of trouble. That's good company.
Well, yeah. If I could stay in his company. I keep telling you, if I could stay within 50,000 of him a year, I have a successful year every year.
Well, now, wait a minute. You're number 6. He's number 1 in the money list this year. We'll get to that list later on, incidentally. That's not bad.
Good loft. Right through the nose. Breaks up the split. Good break. Alvin Lou is lost. He had 4 practice balls and only hit the pocket once. He's thrown 3 shots here and only hit the pocket once. He gets good loft here. He's in that track area, about the 11-12 board, but it hooks right there, goes high, and the 7-pin stands a long time before it decides to fall.
Like putting on very, very short greens. Not much water. The ball really moves when it hits those lanes.
Larry Laub, on the other hand, has got the pocket wired in. And what you want to do when you're in this situation where your opponent is fishing and scrambling is put some pressure on him right now. Get out ahead in a hurry. He didn't do that. Threw the ball poorly, crossed over, leaves the 6-10. Just very quick with his feet that time. Just out of sync all the way through his approach that time. It's way left of his target. He's aiming about 11. That ball hit about board 13 and almost crosses over. Avoids a split. Has the 6-10.
Still anybody's game. Laub by 14 right now.
And just barely makes that spare, too.
They're going to have to work for it this afternoon. We can see that.
Right now you can see Larry with 37 in the second and Lou with 25, a 12-pin difference. Both of them on spares and both of them looking for their first strike in our second match.
Larry's first championship round appearance since last year's Fairlanes Open in Washington, D.C.
Been a year and a half for him. And there's a pretty shot. Got his rhythm back together that time.
All the little mental changes you go through to get yourself back in line.
Good lift on that ball. It's right in the track here, solid in the pocket. All 10 pins just flew into that pit.
Alvin Lou.
Moved in a little bit more, closer to the third arrow, and the ball hooked on him. Leaves the 6-10. As I said, he is lost. He moves out a little bit, and the ball won't come back. He moves in, and it hooks. In a one-game match, you are in trouble when that happens. Now watch where he throws the ball this time. See how closer, about 13th board, and it hooks. He's pointing it at the pocket, and it won't set. Actually, what I think he should do for his ball is move in a little deeper where Shackleford was, closer to that third arrow. Get in about another 2 boards. I don't know that that would work. It's just what it looks like would from this vantage point.
Well, he's already assured of his best finish in 1983. His previous best, a 7th at the Quaker State Open. This is Alvin Lou, sporting a new pair of trousers today, and the guys are kind of kidding him about it. Kind of a stylish look, special material.
Well, with that money he's going to make today, he can afford to go out and buy some.
Yeah. Maybe he's been taking some lessons from our buddy Guppy Troop.
They're mild compared to Troop.
He'd love the material, though.
High again, trips out the 4-7. Big smile now.
Smiling Alvin Lou.
That intense look. All these competitors have that same look. He thinks it's going high again. Kind of backs. When you see the bowler move to his left, he thinks it's going high. Not much of a reaction. He says, all right.
And we'll think about it while we take a break. And then we will return to the 1983 Kessler Open from the Futurama Bowl in San Jose.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge. With Chevy S10 Maxi Cab, there's never been an extended cab pickup like it before. You can't even get one in a Ford Ranger or Toyota. Taking charge of people space, Maxi Cab with available rear jump seats has behind-the-seat room Datsun King Cab can't match. Taking charge with up to 40% more cab load space than Datsun King Cab and twice the towing capacity of any import. Chevy S10 Maxi Cab, room for 4 and a whole lot more. Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge.
In the Orient, they eat everything this way, except maybe tomato soup. They cook everything this way in a low-carbon steel wok. And now, through this offer, you can own an authentic Chinese wok. Look, with regular pans, your kitchen's a steam bath. But cook in a wok, and you'll cut down on fuel bills and only have one pan to wash. With this ring, the wok fits any type burner, even your outdoor grill. The high dome cover works like a timer. When the steam is released, you know the food's cooked perfectly. But a wok isn't just for Oriental cooking. Look, it's a fry pan, saucepan, skillet, and more. It's a Dutch oven, stew pan, and it even makes popcorn. Did you ever see an omelet this thick before? Don't boil your vegetables. Use the wok. They'll have all the goodness and flavor locked in. There's more. We've also included this tempura rack and 4-inch strainer. Plus these Oriental accessories. Yes, that's 18 pieces, but there's still more. Are you ready? Act now, and we'll include as a bonus the incredible Chinese steamer. Look at these succulent vegetables. Even dry bread that's hard as nails turns out soft as the day you bought it. Do corn or cabbage, fish or fowl, it all comes out perfect. Yes, you get the 18-piece wok set plus the Chinese steamer, all for just $19.99.
To order, call 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, 1-800-222-7272. Save the COD charges by sending $19.99 plus $3 shipping and handling to Wok and Steamer. Box 49648 Atlanta. You get all 20 pieces, a regular retail value of over $50 for only $19.99.
That's not Mike Durbin. That is Larry Laub. And there is some facial similarity. In fact, so much so that every now and then you've been known to maybe forge a signature.
Well, people do bring his picture sometimes to sign the autograph, and they've done the opposite to him. He's up by 14 right now, can increase it to 24 with a double. Smooth stroke, it's light. It doesn't get the 5-pin on. He just didn't get the lift on that ball that he wanted to. And when you don't lift it on these lanes, the pins tell you. See that intense, competitive look again? Right at the bottom there, smooth, but not quite the lift that he wanted. When he's moving to his right, when you see a bowler move to his right, the ball's going to be light.
He needs a win to move up into that top 10 of the 83 money standings. Not there yet.
Tight match here, only 2 strikes, 14-pin difference. Larry could have really put some heat on him there and got it in the pocket, but it just wouldn't strike.
Matter of fact, he could move up in the top 5 of the money standings with a win today.
There's the strike that he's looking for. Smooth approach of Larry Laub. Right over about the 12th board there. A little high, trips out that 4-7. Alvin Lou can cut that 14-pin difference to 4 pins if he can double over top of the lead. Moves in closer to that 3rd arrow. And there's the result he's been looking for. Maybe he was listening to me. See, now watch this ball. Last time on this lane, we could see he hit about board 13. This one goes over about board 14 or 15 and just sets right in that pocket.
Well, he comes in there hard, though, Mike.
He's got more speed. He has a lot more speed than Laub.
And Alvin Lou's fiancée. A little nervous. Make that honeymoon real nice for the win, wouldn't it?
Joni's her name. And he crosses over, leaves the baby split. Is he going to fall?
No, doesn't want to.
High, leaves that baby split. What he wants to do here is cross lane and deflect, bounce that ball off the 3 into the 10. And does it perfectly.
Beautiful. Beautifully done.
Keeps the match close with him. 6 pins right now. Larry again on a strike. And this was his favorite lane last game, and he's having a little more trouble with it. This one shortened his backswing that time. And gets a good break.
It's the one he had to have right there. Starting to tighten up.
Now, bowlers talk a lot of times about last-second correction, but here his backswing got shorter because his feet were fast. He instinctively did that. The ball sliding, the head pin goes to the wall, and the 4, 5, 7 go out.
Larry Laub, who finished 2nd on the money list in 1974, right behind Earl Anthony.
He's been on lean times lately. Would love a win to bail himself out here. High, leaves the 4-7. but no split. He's still going along at a 2:05 pace. Again, now he moves a little bit to his left or back, hoping to trip that 4. He knew it was going to be high. Figured he got a good break by only leaving the 4-7. He's adjusting. He uses a grip, a thumb grip in his ball, and he adjusts that right then and there. Boy, that sometimes when I'm trying to do that, my hand shakes. I can't get it in there right.
As many years as you've been around?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I can't believe it. Now he got it.
Alvin Liu's down 14 pins. He's going right now. If Alvin would spare strike or strike spare out, he would bowl 191. Larry Laub, if he would do the same, would bowl 205. So Alvin Liu's got to get striking. It's the 8th frame.
Both below their average for the week, incidentally. Well below.
Alvin gave that one more room and leaves the wall shot 7. What happens on that particular shot is the ball deflects. The head pin goes to the wall and doesn't get that 7. Good lift. That hop to the right. He's saying, get up. Jumps up. Didn't carry.
That's one of his dance moves, by the way. That's what he talked about. He loves to get out there and step lightly.
Right now he's only had 2 strikes, so there's not too much dancing. We're in the 9th frame. The best Alvin Liu can do if he strikes in the 9th, gets all 3 in the 10th, would be 210. He needs to set himself up for the strike right now.
Here's where it is. Alvin Liu down by 15.
The score you saw on your sheet or on your screen there was not correct. It's actually 130 in the 7th frame instead of 131. Light and gets 9 out of it, giving him 149 in the 7th frame. Puts him another pin behind. He's down by 16 pins. He's just shooting a very tight line here, not much margin for error, and he knows it's not going to make up. He's disappointed right at that point. He's happy he got 9, but he still knows he's way behind. He has to hope now for a mistake from Larry Laub. Laub is asking for a re-rack on this right lane where he left a 5-pin the last shot, or it's 2 shots ago.
So Alvin Liu making his first TV appearance of the year, hoping upon hopes that maybe Lady Luck will be in his corner. Larry Laub's got other ideas.
Well, Larry's really in the driver's seat. If he gets a decent count and 2 marks in the 9th and 10th, he can lock it up. Not much time. A little fly, trips that 4-pin out of there.
So with Pete Couture on deck and Marshall Holman in the hole, Larry Laub is front and center now.
Larry had a little more loft on this shot and a little more speed. And now he's saying, hold. He gave it a little jump that time, a little dance, not as high as Alvin. Right now, Larry needs a spare or a strike in the 10th frame to be the winner of the 2nd match. Tie. And breaks down the 6, 7, 10 for only the 6-pin. He's happy. An easy spare and 5 pins, and he'll be a winner.
Talking
saying,
to himself.
hold, yeah. Ooh, you can see that? All right.
Yep. That's it. Okay. Lighten up.
Cross lane at the 6-pin should cover it easily. He does. If he gets 5 pins or better, he'll have 200 or more. The best Alvin Liu can get is 199. But you never know. We had a bizarre ending last week. So it's not over till it's over. Or till, what do they say, till the fat lady sings? Is that it? Alvin Liu looking at the score. He knows the situation. Stays behind that line. And that should get 5. Gets 10. As his wife throws her hands up in victory and says, that's a little more money for the baby.
That'll put a little gas in the car.
Right. Of course, that baby now is almost 4 years old. Whitney is her name. Alvin finishing out the string. And again, right through the heart, leaves the 310 again for the 2nd time in this game. He just never did get lined up on the pair. He bowled so well all week long and came out. And when you don't get lined up on TV, it can be very difficult. There's Larry, not showing much reaction or emotion. He realizes he needs 2 more wins.
Liu during the week bowled better than Laub. 219 plus to 212 plus. Not here today. As Alvin Liu is to be up against it. And Larry Laub is going to get a chance to move on. Pete Couture is next.
And I think Pete Couture will bowl more than 180. I really do. He's just been bowling super lately, and I look for a good score from Pete.
Some of the fellows have expressed a preference in the right lane. As a left. What indication have you had that the right lane is a better one?
Well, I don't know. In the first match, both bowlers seemed to have both lanes down, although Shackleford, I think, hit the right lane a little better. Laub, actually, in the last game, actually hit the left lane better than the right lane. So I don't know if there's a favorite out there right now or not.
All right, Larry Laub with a 205 and Alvin Lou with a 187. We're in San Jose at the Futurama Bowl, and our Kessler Open will continue right after this.
After you win a tough race, you want to take it easy, but you don't want to slow down.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. So welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
We are Chevrolet. Take a look at Chevy Citation and see why it has outsold all front-wheel drives over the last 3 years combined. Hatchback versatility with 20 cubic feet of wagon-like convenience. Comfortable room for 5 people. And an electronic fuel-injected standard engine with better mileage estimates than 41 smaller cars. Take a look at the versatile Chevy Citation. Seeing is believing. Chevrolet is taking charge.
You know, for my money, every pair of slacks ought to be this comfortable. These are Levi's Action slacks. I own 4 pair now, and I'm convinced they may be the most comfortable slacks a man can wear. First, they have a hidden stretch waistband. It's a great invention. Second, the fabric gives for even more comfort. And now Levi's Action slacks are stay pressed. A washable permanent press that really stays pressed. You try them.
Two American League powers clash in Game 1 of a doubleheader on the next edition of USA's Thursday Night Baseball. All-world batting champ Rod Carew and the California Angels take on Eddie Murray and the high-flying Baltimore Orioles. Then it's on to San Francisco, where the Giants try to cool down the sizzling St. Louis Cardinals. Win with a live twin bill on Thursday Night Baseball. It all begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on USA. May not be seen in some areas.
And we are in San Jose at the Futurama Bowl for the $110,000 Kessler Open. Let's take a look at some of our non-TV finalists.
Finishing 6th is our U.S. Open champion this year, Gary Dickinson. 7th was last year's champ, Steve Cook. Roger Haskell was 8th. David Oziel, bowling well, finished 9th. Bobby Knippel in the finals again, 10th. Rick Batone, 11th. Ex-President George Pappas was 12th. Steve Martin, 13th. Ron Palomi Jr. was 14th. John Forst in 15th. Tom Robards in the championship round, 16th. He was in the championship round last week. Brian Voss, 17th. John Green, 18th. Mark Leningrad was 19th. Wayne Webb was 20th. Warren Eels, 21st. Marv Sargent, 22nd. Sam Macarone was 23rd. And veteran Les Sisler finished 24th.
53-year-old Les, the prize money breakdown for the Kessler Open. First place is worth $15,000. Second place finisher, $8,000. For third, you get $6,000. Fourth, $5,000. And in fifth place, $4,000 for a total of $110,000.
Our leaders round by round. In the first round, Gary Dickinson was the leader. He was followed in the second round by Roger Haskell. Alvin Lou took over in the third and fourth round. And the fifth and sixth rounds were Marshall Holman, the leader, who's the leader today.
And we'll have some stories about Marshall Holman for sure. We also have a story for you and the sage words of Mike Durbin, who is with us. And also we'll have his weekly bowling tip. Here's Mike.
Today we're going to talk about the triangle of pins that we see every week on our USA telecast. You know, when the sport of bowling first came to America, it wasn't 10 pins originally. It was 9 pins. And as humans are prone to do, many people bet and gambled on the sport of 9 pins. Some of the states didn't like this, and they made laws against the sport of 9 pins. So some inventive soul, I don't know who it was, got around these state laws by adding a 10th pin and thus created the game of 10 pins as we know it today. The pins are arrayed in an equilateral triangle. Now, what I mean by equilateral is that it's equal on all different sides, and it's a triangle from every angle that we look at it, from the head pin, from the 10 pin, and from the 7 pin. The pins are numbered back here, and if you don't know the number of your pins, I would suggest that you learn them. We have the number 1 pin right at the lead. On its right, the 3, then the 6, and the 10 in the corner. On the other side, next to the head pin, is the 2, the 4, and the 7 in the corner. Right behind the head pin is the 5. Next to the 7 pin in the back is the 8. And next to the 10 pin in the back on the right is the 9 pin. And when you're numbering your pins, if you leave a spare leaf, you always start with the lowest number first. For example, the 2, 4, 5, or the 6, 7, 10. Also, these pins back here are on spots designated by the ABC. And these spots are 12 inches apart, thus making the pins a lot further apart than we might think as we're looking at them from 60 feet away. They look pretty close from there. Let's look at a possible spare conversion. There we have the 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, or known as the dinner bucket with the man in motion. You can make this spare by hitting the 2 and the 5 flush with the ball carrying out the 8. But it's possible to chop the spare with taking the 2 right off the 5, or it's possible that the ball won't get up and leave the 8 pin, or you might cover it perfectly and leave the 7 pin. Now, the purpose of all of this is simply to give you a better appreciation and consideration for the talent of the players that you'll see on our USA telecast every week. We'll see you again next time.
Okay, Mike, thank you very kindly. Man knows a little bit about the art of bowling, among the top 10 finishers, at least to this point on the money standings. Right now, as we look at that list for 1983, Earl Anthony is on top with $131,000. Second is Tom Milton of St. Petersburg with $78,723. Don Gianello of North Merrick, New York, $63,965. Joe Berardi, old friend of ours from Brooklyn, with $57,155. Marshall Holman of Jacksonville, Oregon, we'll see him today, $53,185. And then our own Mike Durbin in that 6th position.
Right, I'm dropping down the lead slowly but surely, but I still got 51,000 this year. Pete Weber is in 7th with a little over 50,000. The hot Bob Hanley didn't qualify for the finals for the first time in 6 weeks this time with 49,000. Tom Baker at 48. And the 10th place was Gary Dickinson, who finished 6th this week. He has $46,000.
As far as averages are concerned, let's take a look at what we have so far. Earl Anthony right up on top, 218.55. Marshall Holman is in 2nd place as far as average is concerned, 214.36. Tom Milton of St. Petersburg, Florida, with a 213.87. Dave Husted from Milwaukee, Oregon, 213.34, and Tom Baker of Buffalo, New York, at 213.10.
In 6th place is the great Mark Roth with a little over 212. Pete Couture bowling steady every week, again, a little over 212. Mike Durbin, yours truly, a little over 212. Bob Hanley at 211, and Henry Gonzalez in 10th place at a little over 211.
And USA will be with the PBA all through the upcoming months. Take a look at some of the events coming up on the schedule. The Showboat Doubles Classic, July 27th in Las Vegas, Nevada. The Aquafest Mr. Gotti's Open, August 3rd in Austin, Texas. The Venice Open, August 10th in Venice, Florida. The Buffalo Open, August 17th in Buffalo, New York. The Molson Bowling Challenge, August 24th in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. The Waukegan Open, August 31st in Waukegan, Illinois. And the Columbia PBA Seniors Championship, that's September 7th, down in Mike's home territory, Canton, Ohio. We'll be back for more of our PBA event today, the Kessler Open, the Futurama Bowl in San Jose, after this on USA.
We are USA 1. And proving it in Chevy Cavalier. Cavalier's high compression 2-liter engine with electronic fuel injection gives you more power than the 3 leading imports. And even though Cavalier's sedan is shorter outside than Honda Accord sedan, it gives you 6 cubic feet more passenger room inside, plus more room in the trunk. Chevy Cavalier, from America's sales leader, USA 1, is taking charge.
Are you tired of the gotcha of old-fashioned wrenches?
Well, now there's Sure-Lock, an incredible new universal wrench with a grip like a vise. Sure-Lock versus all these wrenches makes Sure-Lock a sure winner. From 3/8 to 13/16 or 9mm to 22, Sure-Lock fits them all. No more searching for the right size. Do chewed-up bolt heads give you a headache? Relax. Sure-Lock locks up like a vise to loosen even stripped nuts, because Sure-Lock works on the flats of the nut, not the corners, like those gotcha wrenches. Metric or imperial, foreign or domestic, lawnmowers, cars, bikes, and toys, nothing's too tight for Sure-Lock. It replaces this $40 set of wrenches and fits right in your pocket. There's more. In a tight spot, watch. Sure-Lock even has a built-in ratchet so it socks it up in seconds. Turn it over and it loosens just as fast. Sure-Lock is made from the finest hardened tool steel. And if you order now, we'll also send you Big Lock. It fits from 13/16 to 1 1/4. Through this offer, you get both wrenches, plus our incredible 10-year written guarantee. We'll also include 10 screwdrivers to fit every type of screw. Plus, as an extra bonus, you'll also receive the amazing pocket tool kit. This incredible tool cuts glass, strips, sharpens, hones, and shapes tile like a professional does. And it's yours as a bonus. You get it all for the amazing price of only $19.99. To order, call 1-800-USA-1000 in Georgia, 1-800-222-7272. Save the COD charges by sending $19.99 plus $3 shipping and handling to Wrench Kit, Box 49648, Atlanta.
From the Futurama Bowl in San Jose, our third match will feature Larry Laub and Pete Couture, who's on the right-hand side.
Yeah, we got two guys with curly hair here, but Pete Couture has been bowling super lately. He was in our championship round last week, and again this week. He's just been throwing the ball excellent. I think he's cashed 17 out of 20 times this year. He's going to be tough.
And there he is, 38-year-old Pete Couture. Let's meet him. Pete Couture from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Nobody's from Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Come on, Pete.
Sure we are. One of the best bowlers ever come out of New England, Larry Lichting, was from Windsor Locks. I'm just happy to try to keep on the tradition.
But going back a little further than that, it all started out in Maine, and really the competition at that particular point in your career must have been a little tough. Had to make a conversion starting out on the small pins to the big pins. What about some of those early days?
Well, when I was in high school, I bowled candle pins in Maine, and I was reluctant to change because I was doing very well at the sport, but it really didn't offer enough of a challenge. There wasn't enough tournaments and enough competition. So after I graduated from high school, I went into 10 pins and gradually, got a little bit better and started going out of the state to Massachusetts and Connecticut bowling tournaments and meeting some of the better bowlers like Paul Moser and Larry Lichting and Bill Spigner. And seeing those guys and bowling against them made me want to get better and made me work harder at my game. And after a few years, I finally moved to Connecticut where I could be closer to the better leagues and the better bowlers. And that was probably the best thing I did for my career.
You had some interesting things said about you. The one, of course, most recently said by Marshall Holman. He thinks you're a pretty good bowler. That's nice coming from one of your peers.
Well, Marshall, talking about the right side of the lane, it's hard to analyze. Earl has got the greatest record in bowling, and there's no doubt he's a great bowler, but I think Marshall is the best right-hander in the game today, and he doesn't give away too many compliments, so that makes me feel pretty good.
Marshall seems to feel the same way. I always like the stories behind the stories, and for Pete Couture, you come from an athletic family. Your dad has an interesting record, the fastest professional KO on the books. 11 seconds, is that right?
No, 10.5 seconds. That includes a 10-second count, by the way. It's listed in the Guinness Book of Records. I think it says something like, it is quite clear that Mr. Couture must have been halfway across the ring when the bell rang, but it's in the record books. It most likely was a little bit of a fast count, I think.
And Pete Couture is looking for a knockout today. Good luck to you, Pete.
Thank you very much, Eddie.
So there they are. Larry Laub moving on. Third match, and Pete Couture. And they shake and they're ready to go. And it'll be Larry Laub leading the way. Not probably the most impressive score the last match to move on, but he'll take it.
Match play format, Ed. All you have to do is one pin more than your opponent, your winner. Larry goes high this time and breaks down. Had the 6, 7, 10 up there, and the 6, 10 fall down. And that left lane is starting to hook more and more. He shakes his head at that left lane. It's beginning to give him trouble here. A little slow again on the first shot and starting the game. Ball hooks right there, right through the heart of the pins, and you see that 6, 10, 7, 10 up there, and the 6 and 10 fall out.
Shackleford and Lou to get here.
Pete Couture really on a hot streak.
Remember that our own Mike Durbin had his own particular prediction. And he's not very often wrong.
Beautiful shot in around the 17th, 16th, 17th board. Not much hook. Nice soft speed. Pete, 5-step player, very short steps. Watch the elbow cock, but very square, good slide. Trust every shot. He doesn't steer the bowling ball. He lets it go. He's a shot maker.
And he's been around 11 years.
But I think his biggest asset, Ed, is his heart and his guts. He's tough inside.
He's a banger at 5'8", 140.
Weak 10, right in the 1-3 pocket. Doesn't carry that 10 out of there. And a little bit deeper on this lane because it hooks just a hair more. And watch, the ball will deflect here to the right. And that 6-pin just won't get out and get that 10 at all.
He's had a good week. Averaged over 218 and has 4 PBA titles to his record.
Switches balls, uses the harder ones, convert the 10-pin.
That's interesting. Why?
Wants to go straight at the 10-pin. There's a lot of theory that you should use the same ball. I switch balls all the time and don't have any trouble with it. Laub blows that 5 out of there this time. Remember the solid 5 he left last game. Blows it out of there this game. Larry averaged 218 on this TV pair this week, so he seems to hit the TV pair pretty well. Right over about the 12th board. Now watch the ball will just get the 5. Just got it, but blew it out of there. That's enough.
While averaging that 218 you talked about, he had a high game of 222 on the TV pair.
So he's very steady.
Very steady.
Good speed, good speed. And is it just a little weak 10. Same thing that Pete Couture left, so they're going tit for tat here. This is like a replay of Couture's shot here. You'll see the ball in the track area. It will deflect, and the 6-pin will just kind of stand up in the channel. Sometimes you get a love tap there, and it nudged it, but it didn't knock it over.
Tap a little harder. Larry Laub wants to be named the bowler of the year. That's his goal.
It's a nice goal to have. Lofty.
Yeah, well, on the other hand, Couture would like to win the Firestone. You know something about that.
Well, that's a big moment when a bowler wins that tournament. It's a big thrill.
Little memorabilia around your house?
Yes.
I'll bet.
Doesn't take much time. Right in the pocket again. Oh, and gets a can opener. I don't know when it hit the 10-pin that time. I don't think Pete does either, but he's happy about it.
Where are they? That's Pete Couture, Larry Laub. And the way they look, there it is.
And we're all even. 40 in the second. The only difference is that Couture is working on a strike and has a chance to double.
The winner moves on to get Marshall Holman. Controversial Marshall.
It's going high this time. And doesn't get the break to break up the split. Went a little more direct. Leaves the 7-10. They don't come any wider in this. He just goes more direct with this shot. He doesn't give it any room, and it's headed right high. Doesn't get any kind of break. I was crossing with Joe Hutchinson this week, and he made the split.
Tough one, though.
Yeah, definitely a tough one. It's been made once on television in all the years that we've been doing it. Mark Roth made it a few years ago, and Pete drops in the hole, and every opponent has opened against Laub. Laub has yet to have an open frame. Shortened his backswing again that time. Leaves the 4-pin. Good shot. Normally, Larry has a very high backswing, and it's still high that time, but it was just a little shorter than he normally does. The ball bites right here. 2-pin goes around the 4. Easy spare for him. With a conversion, he'll be up 11 pins. Has it. 11 pins ahead.
Curly-haired Larry Laub waiting for his ball to be returned. He just joined us. We're at the Futurama Bowl in San Jose, and this is the '83 Kessler Open.
That's naturally curly hair, too. He doesn't have a perm. It's naturally curly.
None of that stuff, huh? That's a nice moss there.
Baby crying in the background. I bet it was Whitney. I don't think Larry heard it. I saw Pam raise her hand up as we heard this baby in the background, and my wife got up to go back and see.
Concentration. That's concentration. And we'll concentrate on a few words and then return to San Jose after this on USA.
All right, we're up 15. We got this game won.
Yeah, you guys are buying a light beer from Miller. Yeah, slice Philly.
One out to go. Yeah, what can he do to us now?
Hey, I'll keep the change. Here's Rodney!
Any pinch hitters left? Here I am.
Come on,
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey, wait a minute. This game isn't over yet. I caught that ball.
There are two ways to pump iron, this way or this. But now there's Easy Iron, the lightweight revolution that irons out your pressing problems. Look, you'd need a steamroller to get this crease out, but for Easy Iron, it's easy. No muscles needed, and it puts in a crease as sharp as a razor without a pressing cloth. Why pay a professional? Do nylon fabrics burn you up? Try Easy Iron. It can't burn. The temperature is preset. Easy Iron works great with a board, but even better without. Try this with your regular iron. Do drapes and shears on the rod, just like the professionals do. Even sweaters on the hanger without flattening. This suit looks like it was slept in, but no matter how bad the creases, a hanger and Easy Iron are all you need for a perfect press. Next, snap on this handy fabric brush and do velvet corduroy even furniture. A few effortless strokes and just look. Easy Iron comes with this warranty for the special TV price of $19.99 complete.
To order in red or white, call 1-800-USA-1000. Save the COD charges by sending $19.99 plus $3 shipping and handling to Easy Iron, Box 49648, Atlanta.
Eddie Doucette along with Mike Durbin, and that's Pete Couture, who earlier this week performed well here in San Jose, and it was of Couture that Holman said he's probably the best right-handed bowler in the game, after me. you got to love Marshall Holman, some of the things he says.
He's a right to the nose. This time breaks it up. A little soft on that speed. And where Pete was so wired in, it seemed like now he's lost. See how square he is? He trusts that ball. But this time it hooked a little high. I think it was just slow on that speed. He smacks his hands. He's fiery, I'll tell you. Switches balls again. Cross lane up to 610 and has the spare.
That little piece we did in the interview about his dad and the knockout, and we'll get a chance to see the scoreboard. He said his dad actually ran across the ring before the bell was rung and hit this guy a lick. He never saw him coming. Thus, 10.5-second knockout. The quickest in history.
See in the fourth frame, 68 for Couture with a spare up, and Laub was 79 in the fourth with a strike up, 11-pin difference. A little more speed that time. And there's the result. Speed is just so crucial here.
It really is. He's had a good week on the TV pair. 234 plus. Not bad.
Pete gets a little more loft and a little more speed that time. He knows it's right there. And just every bowler has a little mannerism he goes through when he knows that ball's solid. Larry's light this time. Not going to make it up. And almost got a break. Did get a break to leave only the 5-pin, but had a chance to really jump on Couture and didn't do it.
This will be a good day any way you look at it for Larry Laub. It will be his best finish of the year.
But he's not looking at it from that perspective, Ed. What he's looking at now is the chance to win. He hasn't won since 1979. And all these players out here, when they smell victory, you know, it's like a dog after a bone. They want to get it.
Not necessarily means the money they'll make today, but what it might do for them psychologically and setting them up for the weeks to come.
Absolutely.
Larry Laub versus Pete Couture.
There's 99 in the fifth for Laub, 88 in the fifth for Couture. 11-pin difference, but Couture is on a strike.
In the seventh.
Little light again. Leaves the 5 pin. Just didn't bite the lane. He just would not quite bite that lane. Easy spare, and you get a chance to practice on the pocket a little bit. Has 118 in the 6th right now. If he makes a spare, it'll be 10 pin difference. Again, he's fiddling with that grip he has in there. It's a sure hook grip. Larry using a urethane bowling ball. As is Pete Couture, just different companies.
So the Laub family up by 10. And very well aware of what's going on now. Can't run and hide now, can you?
Ham's heart is probably beating 100 times a minute right now. She's got the score figured out. Couture can even the match with a double hit. A little extra time. It's right there. Perfect. Boy, what a nice shot that was. Boy, he stayed down so low on that shot and had such a good follow-through. Watch this shot. See how low he gets the line here? See that follow-through go straight up? Look at that balance. He's perfect in balance, and he knows it's solid.
He really does have beautiful form, doesn't he?
He just has excellent. His only thing a little unorthodox with Pete's game is that elbow breaking. But, you know, the couple pretty good bowlers that used to do that. Earl Anthony does that, and Don Carter used to do that. So it's not necessarily against the rules.
How about Mike Durbin?
My elbow break's a little bit similar to Couture's. A little light this time. And is it going to fall?
Oh, not enough of a love tap.
Right, exactly right. That pin hit it, but didn't quite knock it over. Leaves that what was known as a swishing 7.
Got to use everything you got.
Again, I told you, when a bowler's light, he knows he moves to his right usually. Pete ran it out to the right, disappointed. Ooh, he is thinking bad thoughts on that pin. Cross lane at the 7 pin, has it. Right now, Laub is up by 1 pin, and it's 8th frame. Larry is going at a 198 pace right now, where Pete is going at 197.
Here's Larry Laub. Finished 40th Cleveland Open this year.
Solid, pretty shot, good speed, and the ball held the pocket. Keeps his 1 pin advantage. And right now, Larry needs to strike in the 9th frame to keep Pete Couture from having the opportunity to lock him out. As you see the scoreboard, just 1 pin difference going into the 9th frame. Larry's on a strike. Good shot, good shot. Oh, his best shot of the day right there.
Good clutch shot there, knowing that he has to win or else it's time to go home.
Very aggressive shot, and he knows it as soon as he let it go. He's moving back now. He knows it's solid. Said carry.
And Couture.
Larry has put the heat on Pete. He's answering the challenge. Is it going to fall? Boy, he got it in a little deep. Almost left the 5-8. He kind of chuckles to himself. He got it in a little too deep, and the ball didn't bite the lane at all.
He had a high game on the TV pair this week at 279.
The match is by no means over. Couture converts the 8 pin, which I'm sure he will. He can still strike out for 206. Larry Laub is going at a 208 pace right now. So even a tie is still in the potential works here. But Pete has got to strike out. Needs this first one. Have to take these things one at a time. He must have utilized his 3 re-racks because he's asking for one now, and our tournament director, Harry Golden, has to come over and take a look at it.
There's Harry. Been around for a long time, 20+ years, and does a whale of a job for the PBA.
That medallion he has around his neck, hanging over his tie there, has 18 diamonds in it. Was given to him by the PBA players, signifying that he's in their Hall of Fame. In appreciation.
When he started out wearing that medallion, he had a size 14 neck. Now it's a 22. There's Larry Laub.
Larry looks on, knows that he's in the driver's seat right at this point, but the money's not in the bank yet. Couture's great in the clutch. He's a little light and blows the 5 out of there. Same type of shot he had in the 8th frame where he left the 7. Again, watch him move to his right as he lets the ball go because he knows it's light. Now watch those hands smack together when he strikes. That shot there made Laub mark in the 10th. No matter what Couture does, a double here could really make it interesting. A little high and sets. Gets the 4-7 out of there. Interesting. Watch his reaction this time. Last time he came in light and he moved to his right. Now watch which direction he moves this time. He knows it's a little tight and he moves back and then to his left. Because it's he thinks set. We have bowlers are all the same that way. We have an instinctive thing. When it's going high, we want to go to our left, and when it's going light, we want to move to our right.
You want to tilt the lane, but it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. We can't do anything about it. He needs a full count here. Needs all 10 for 206. Right there, gets 9. He's disappointed 205, which means that Larry Laub is going to need 9 spare 9. He needs to fill 18 in the 10th frame to be a winner. He could go 8 and a strike. A strike in the first ball will do it. Not much time. He doesn't take much time in these pressure situations.
He could be the master of his own destiny now, with only Marshall Holman standing.
Oh, he's light. Is he going to make it? He gets 9. He needs to make the spare. Wall shot 5-pin. Little stop he put on it. Tried to help it. Moves to his right. Hurry up, ball. Carry.
These shots have been missed before.
Well, they have, but the 5-pin, even I think I could handle that.
Maybe me too, huh?
He needs 9 pins or better to be a winner. 9 pins or better. A tie is definitely a possibility. 8, we would have a 2-frame roll-off. 7, he would be a loser.
So Pete Couture, who had been in that number 2 hole up till now, is looking at the possibility of being eliminated.
Couture not even looking. Now he looks up. It's high. It's high. We have a tie. We have a tie. We're going to have a 2-frame roll-off. It's 205 apiece.
Oh, boy.
And Couture smacks his hands together. He has new life. Laub takes the towel and hits his leg. He let him out of the pond.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more.
Pete Couture will go first. They will just reverse the order. Pete Couture will bowl first, and Larry Laub will then bowl 2 frames. It's a 9th and 10th frame situation right here. I've been in one of these 2-frame rolls. I tied with Guppy Troop one time and then lost in a 2-frame roll. It is pressure-packed.
Didn't have the right kind of pants on.
I never thought of that.
Here we go.
Every shot is crucial now. He's right there. Trips the 4 out of there. Couture gives it a little verbal thing. Pete runs it out, smacks those hands together. Laub with a good shot, Oh, and leaves a wall shot 7. He trusted it nice.
205 in the regulation. Now we got a roll-off.
First one I could remember doing on our USA telecast.
Really?
I don't think we've had one, but cross lane at the 7. He has it. So we're still even, but Couture has got that strike. Couture was involved in 1981 with a tremendous duel with the great Earl Anthony. They went 2 roll-offs before Couture beat him. They tied at the end of the regulation game, then tied at the end of the first roll-off, and then he beat him in the second one. Laub needs a strike this first one in the 10th. It's all even right at this point. Very good speed on his approach. He's a little high, and he gets a break as Pam throws up her hands and says, all right, and Couture puts his head down in a towel. Look at that look on Pam's face.
Wow. Well, he did finish high, though, that time, didn't he? A little upright.
Yes, he was quick with his follow-through. What a break, he says. Now the thing, can he take advantage of that break? He's there, and carries as Pam stands up. Couture flips his rosin bag up and catches it. I'll tell you what, Eddie, if the bowling fans at home don't like this show, they might as well turn it off because pro bowling doesn't get any better than this.
This is outstanding. It really is. Larry Laub and Pete Couture locked up. The winner moves on to the finals.
Laub strikes, he has 50. He'll have 50. And he has 50. He forces Couture to get 2 strikes in the 10th frame.
That's putting a little pressure on.
Absolutely. Couture has a possible 60. He has to have the first 2 or he's going to be a loser. What a finish. The psychological thing of him carrying that nosedive does something to your opponent. Pete has to pull himself together, put that out of his mind, and say, make my own shot. I can still win. My fate is in my hands.
Needs to strike right here.
Right there. Pretty shot. Oh, I'll tell you what. Lets it go, trusts it pretty. What balance. Now watch the right hand. Oh, right. He wants a re-rack. Goose has got to look at it. Harry Golden. Right now, he must strike. If he does not strike, he is a loser. If he strikes and then gets any pins at all, he's going to be a winner.
What is he looking at in terms of possible score?
Possible score is 60 if he strikes all the way, all 3 of them. Right now, if he gets this one, that would give him 30 in the 9th frame. 2 strikes is 20 more. He would need 1 pin. He needs 1 strike more and 1 pin to win.
Good close-up of Larry Laub.
Laub's looking at the score. He knows it, too. This is the shot right now. This is the most important shot for Pete Couture in the entire week. And the most important shot for Larry Laub in his last 4 years.
He's cashed in 17 of 20 events this year.
4 pin, trips out!
His dad, Al Couture, the man who knocked his opponent out in 10.5 seconds. Watch him here.
Slower with the shot. It was right over target. He thinks it's solid. Now it's going high. And he says, all right. No, just stay behind the line is all he has to do. And he does. He's a winner. 60. What a finish. Boy, these 2 guys put on a great show. I mean to tell you.
So it's Pete Couture against Marshall Holman. We'll be back to that right after this.
A double play. Anyone who pitches for a living loves a beautifully turned twin killing. Hi, this is Tom Seaver for the Sporting News, and we have a twin killing for you. 2 issues for the price of 1 to introduce you to the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. That's right, you'll get 26 issues of the Sporting News for just $9.99. 2 for the price of 1. And you can't buy the Sporting News for a lower price anywhere. It's the magazine that gives me the no-nonsense details of all Major League sports and college action. To love sports is to love the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. Why don't you subscribe today, and here's a friend to tell you how.
That's right, Tom. You get the Sporting News at the low rate of just 39 cents an issue. 26 issues for $9.99. That's half the regular subscription price. Call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, 1-800-222-7272. That's 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, call 1-800-222-7272.
Introducing the Ice Creamery, the cordless electric countertop miracle that lets you make your own rich, delicious ice cream flavors easily, effortlessly. Just pour, mix, and chill. Just pour in the natural ingredients. Mix with a wooden spoon, then turn on the automatic Ice Creamery. Silently, smoothly, it churns away. Next time you open the door, you're treated to the most delicious ice cream you've ever tasted. Just pour, mix, and chill, and look at the result. Smooth, cold, creamy, bursting with natural flavors you mix in minutes. Heavenly vanilla flecked with flavor. Deep, rich chocolate, fresh fruit strawberry, the fabulous automatic ice creamery, just $24.95. Money back if not delighted. Have your credit card ready for rush delivery. Here's how to order.
COD and credit card orders. Call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, call 1-800-222-7272 or send $24.95 plus $3 for shipping and handling to Ice Creamery. Post Office Box 49648.
And so here it is, our final match in what has been a tremendous event so far. The Kessler Open at the Futurama Bowl here in San Jose with Pete Couture on the left and Marshall Holman on the right.
Maybe we have the two best right-handed bowlers on the PBA Tour today going in this match.
Well, that's what Marshall said.
Well, I'll tell you what, they could be right. And you've got two fiery competitors. This ought to be a dandy.
Marshall Holman, according to some, is the best in the world right now. If you haven't had an opportunity to hear from him, let's go right now and listen to Marshall Holman. One San Jose newspaper writer said that this is where the trouble starts for Marshall Holman. I guess perhaps he was referring to the fact that when you get into the TV finals, it's not been a lucky trail for one Marshall.
Well, I'm going to find out who he is, and he's not going to be on my Christmas list this year.
Marshall, what is it? Is it like 3-18 in TV finals over the last couple of years?
Eddie, I'm not exactly sure what it is. I know I've had trouble on the telecast in the last few years. I also know that I have a game that can take me through virtually every condition we have on this tour and put me towards the top week after week after week. I have a lot of confidence in my game, and I feel like it's going to be my physical game that's going to bring me through today.
I think that's a pretty good point to bring up, because one of the great moments in sports that I've had in the last couple of years was the way you performed in Syracuse at the end of last season when you went out there and bowled with a broken hand, and it might have been the best performance you had all year.
Probably the best performance I've had on television in 3 years. It was something that I just wanted to try and bowl and, you know, shoot maybe 180, 190, not embarrass myself and get out of town, and I found myself shooting 250, 230. Didn't win the semifinal match, but it's a very memorable time for me.
You don't run away from controversy. It doesn't seem to concern you.
Not particularly. You know, I just try and do my job. Sometimes I get a little animated. Sometimes I get a little upset here and there. But I just try and do things the way I know I can do them best.
Have you pushed those two people who were heckling you out of your minds for today's performance?
Yeah. In fact, I had a chance to see them after I got done, and there's no problem. You know, they might have had a couple of drinks, and you know, when people want to get on somebody's back, they usually climb on Marshall Holman's, and I'm used to it. I've been on tour a long time, and it's happened before. It'll happen again. I just want to keep bowling well.
You made a comment that you think you're the best right-handed bowler in the game right now. And the man that might be challenging you today, Pete Couture, is right behind you.
Well, I think my record speaks for itself as far as my consistency from the right-hand side of the lane. I think Earl Anthony's the greatest bowler on tour today, greatest bowler of all time. Pete Couture, I really have a lot of respect for his game. He seems to be able to put it together week after week after week, and that's what it's really all about on tour, is consistency.
We'll see what it's all about. Marshall Holman, young man from Oregon, young man with a job to do today. Marshall Holman, whose last title was in '81 when he beat Wayne Webb in Kansas City. He's not done well on TV, but the young man from Jacksonville, Oregon, has got other plans today. Let's find out. There he is. He can talk a lot, but when you talk to the people in the game, they have a tendency to agree. He might be the best in the world.
Well, he's certainly one of the best. I mean, there's just no question that he's a very talented player. In around the third arrow, maybe a little deeper. And there it is, perfect. He's trying to fire himself up. Five-step approach, very quick, holds the ball low. Watch how steady his head is, and then watch how long the slide is and the power through the ball. Good follow-through, good balance. It's hard to do it any better than that, Ed.
I will never forget his performance in Syracuse last year. Bowling with a broken hand, winning 3 matches, almost pulled it out. Pete Couture.
In close to the fourth arrow, just fades it right in there. Couture, look at that determination on his face. Elbow breaks, good lift with the fingers. The ball just falling. That's what we call the fallback shot. But it's solid, all 10 in the pit.
Couture had to survive a 2-frame roll-off with Larry Laub to get this far. One of the most exciting matches we've seen in a long time.
Certainly was.
Marshall Holman now knows he's up against a good one.
He certainly does. Couture on the left lane. And knocks the 8-10 out of there.
Woo. Woo. On fire. Big start.
This ball will deflect. Watch it deflect as it hits the pins, and the 8 and 10 are the last two to go down. 6-pin just gets the 10 and something like that 8.
So Marshall Holman, who averaged 221 plus and has 14 PBA titles in his sack, steps up.
Right there. And he knocks the 8-10 out. Tip for tat there. Woo. Marshall says that he has a tendency to get animated sometimes. We're going to get a good shot of watching that. It hits. Look at that look.
Don't break that hand again, though.
Crunches those teeth out there.
Look at him go after that. Wasn't that some performance last year at Syracuse?
Oh, it was great.
I mean, with the ice on the hand between every shot.
It was great, but let's not forget how great Dave Sutar's performance was there, too.
Oh, yeah. Marshall, who has rolled up over 53,000 this year. Big on TV.
Takes a little extra time. Lately on television, when he gets that double, the third one is where he's had his trouble. Good speed. He's light. He's light. And there it is again. That mistake he's been making, and he pays for it every time. He leaves the 2-4-10. He threw it a little wide, and he just didn't get back, and he has a wide open split.
Two, 4-10, as Mike Durbin just indicated.
What he wants to do on this is go cross lane, hit the 2-pin on the left, and slide it over into the 10. It's a difficult shot, but it can be made. He shoots at it a lot because he leaves it quite a bit.
You know, he is a fellow that had to come up with a big game. He had a 255-7 against Couture to pass.
Has a chance. Oh, didn't get over.
My friend.